To our south is the beginning of 2 miles of a railroad track that runs right along the very top of this coastal bluff.
Del Mar Councilmember Terry Gasterland is taking in the sweeping view on top of the cliff that has grabbed so many headlines recently.
A big collapse could happen anywhere along this bluff at any moment in time. That's our problem right now.
And that's trouble for train tracks that skirt the coast along the top of the bluff. Collapse in 1941 deposited a freight train on the beach below. Recent bluff collapses present an ongoing threat to one of the nation's busiest rail corridors. The $68 million project calls for pilings to be driven deep into the bluff. That would secure the track foundation, and soon-to-be-built seawalls will keep the ocean at bay. But the cost is bigger than just money.
That bluff stabilization project is going to bury 49,000 square feet of current, open, sandy beach along Del Mar. And it's going to do it in a way that at high tide, when the tide meets the seawalls, there's no beach left.
Maintaining the rail line is important to a lot of people. The Los Angeles to San Diego track serves some 2 million passengers a year. It is the second busiest urban rail corridor in the nation. The North County Transit District's Chris Orlando says the train tracks help reduce the region's carbon footprint.
Our coaster line is the region's most effective reducer of vehicle miles traveled. So each coaster passenger is more than 26 VMT miles reduced. So really effective way to keep folks off the road and onto transit.
Orlando says the freight train also keeps 24,000 trucks off local highways.
Those services and what they mean to the region are significant and critical. And so anytime you have a disruption of any period of time, it has an impact on our region. And so, making sure that the resiliency of that infrastructure remains constant is really important to the San Diego region.
That's why another plan, moving the tracks inland, is so appealing. But there are challenges there too. Moving the tracks requires a tunnel under Del Mar, a project with a price tag close to $3 billion.
Is it a cost worth paying? And the answer is absolutely yes.
San Diego Association of Government CEO Hassan Ikrada says preserving the rail corridor through Del Mar helps meet his agency's commitment to mass transit.
It is all about making our transit as a viable option for people to use. It doesn't mean that we want to force people out of their car. It doesn't mean that everybody's going to leave their car. But if you provide a decent option, maybe 10% of our residents will use it, and therefore will free capacity in the highway system.
$300 million in the just-signed state budget will help pay for crucial environmental work and design plans to move the tracks inland. Ikrada hopes that leads to a shovel-ready project in just a couple of years. But $300 million falls far short of what could be a $3 billion price tag. Congressman Mike Levin says the recently passed bipartisan federal infrastructure law was designed for projects like this.
There are a couple of big buckets of money, one for resilience and another for transit. And my team is going to work very closely with all of our stakeholders in the state and federal level to make sure that we are aligned and we are working towards trying to get this project done for all the residents of our region.
Levin says the eroding bluffs have already forced the rail corridor to shut down intermittently, and the region feels the impact.
Every month you shut it down is roughly $100 million economic impact to our greater region because of, again, the economic importance each year of that corridor.
Terry Gasterland hopes the pressure and opportunity will make the track relocation project a reality for Del Mar. She says everyone wins.
We get double tracking on a corridor that's poised to grow. We get safe freight and passenger conveyance along tracks that are not on a crumbling bluff anymore. So we get security and we get solidity.
These tracks will be gone by 2030 if everything goes as planned. They'll be located inland. But if the schedule drags out, they'll have some extra time because the temporary fixes will secure the bluffs for 30 years. Erik Anderson, KPBS News. Thanks for watching. I'm Erik Anderson, KPBS News. I cover the environment. If you'd like to see more, hit the subscribe button.